Hello there, I'm Charlie, aka Ronan Logan X, and this is Ronan Logan X Reviews. In this video, I'm taking a look at the MCU Moon Knight figure from Marvel Legends. Now, as I've stated in the past, I really love the character of Moon Knight, and so I was really looking forward to not only the TV series, but this action figure, which I felt was inevitably going to be coming from Marvel Legends. So with that said, let's get into it. Starting with accessories, this figure comes pretty light in that regard, with the only extras being a pair of alternate hands, as well as two crescent moon throwing stars which can be snapped together. Unfortunately, this ends up being disappointing on two fronts. The first, which is admittedly very much a personal issue of my own, which is that I very much would have appreciated an unmasked head with a featured likeness of Oscar Isaac. As for my second issue, I feel that this is a much more legitimate complaint, and that is that his crescent moon throwing stars do not fit properly in his hands. They are just too big, which proved to be more than a little disappointing, at least on my part, as I really would have loved to have been able to replicate that pose of him clutching them in his fists as if he's about to punch somebody with the sharp edges pointing outward. But unfortunately, I found that that is just simply not something that can be easily done with this figure. Moving on to articulation, I found this figure to have pretty much all of the articulation I've come to expect out of a Marvel Legends figure. That said, some of it is slightly stifled by his cape, but not so much so that it's any sort of issue, at least for me. Also, I feel I should make mention, out of the package, his joints were just a little tight, so you may want to hit him with some heat, whether that be from a hot water bath or a few seconds from a hairdryer. But I think that would be beneficial to the figure and help in avoiding the risk of breaking something right out of the package. Finally, this is normally where I would take a look at a likeness featured on a figure. However, as I stated earlier in the video, this figure has no likeness to really take a look at. So instead, I'm just going to comment on the design of this figure. And much like my opinion of the design for the show, I really love it. I just think it's such an inspired idea to add more of the mummy aesthetic to Moon Knight. And they just replicate that design pretty much perfectly into Marvel Legends figure form, at least in my opinion. So with all of that said, I would have to give this figure a high recommendation, despite my cited issues with it. Moon Knight is just an awesome character, this figure is just a great toy, and the design is just chef's kiss. So whether you're just a fan of Moon Knight or you're a collector of all things Marvel, I think this is just going to be a welcome addition to your collection. I hope you have enjoyed this video and you have found it helpful and informative in any decisions you might have regarding the purchase of this figure. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please comment, please subscribe, and ring that bell icon if you'd like to be notified about any of my future videos. Also, if you might be interested in anything else of mine, you can find me on Instagram at RonanLoganX, where I post toy photography pictures as well as puppy pictures of my pup Ripley. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.